Tender is the Flesh is a very popular book read. I've heard many things about it. This is a horror sort of dystopian novel about a society in which a virus has made all animals toxic to humans. There's a virus that sort of went into every single animal, and it sort of made every animal untenable to eat. So all animals were killed. All people had to kill their pets because they transmit diseases. And there are wild animals that are dangerous because if they bite you, they'll give you the virus. So they've sort of whittled down the animal population to almost nothing because of the virus itself. It spreads to humans. And in the result, they managed to legalize and normalize cannibalism, which is the most disturbing aspect of this book. This book literally goes literally feet first into the pool of world building. Like literally every aspect that you could think of is done over with humans. So humans are sort of bred in captivity. They're bred for breeding. They're bred for leather. People want different colors of leather, so they'll have black, they call them heads, like cattle, and they're branded, and their vocal cords are removed at a young age, so they can't fight back or anything. They're kept in cages. Sometimes they're abused by people, but they're worth a lot of money, and you can breed different kinds for more fatty ones, so you can sell those to processing plants, or you can develop thinner ones for cured fancy meat. And it's really disturbing. This book isn't that scary. It is a horror novel. It was more of a dystopian novel of how desensitized people can get. And there's some people in this book that are they explore that a little bit, because our main character is Marcos. He works at a meat processing plant, and he's sort of the right-hand man of the boss. Krieger is the boss. He's kind of like this anal sort of weirdo that just cares about money and anything, and he doesn't like talking to people. He doesn't like small talk. He doesn't like remembering names. He's almost got this sort of insular quality. So Marcos has to basically do he's like the front man essentially of this. So he gets a good position. He's in charge of hiring security and hiring people. And there's a group of two men that come in, one short, one tall, and they are supposed to work at the plant. And when they ask questions, there's a lot of world building in this sequence. But Marcos sort of senses that the shorter guy wants to work there because he's secretly a psychopath, and he wants to just basically be paid to kill and a perverse weirdo. So that they explore that aspect, what would a psychopath do in this sort of society. They also have butcher shops. They have a black market. There's all sorts of aspects of this. There's too much world building. I feel you can, it's good to paint a picture, but the main story is very pushed to the wayside, in which Marcos is gifted a valuable female head, basically, and she's worth a lot of money. He could kill her and sell her and eat her, or he's sort of keeping her around as a sort of pet. He doesn't want to take care of her, but he starts to care for it, and it ends up being a dangerous thing, because if you abuse heads, or you do illegal things with them, you get put to the municipal slaughterhouse and they'll eat you. And there's a huge sort of stigma of all sorts of things. People don't do funerals anymore because people were eating the bodies. There's desperate homeless people that eat things raw and they scavenge, and then the people that treat meat dirty and they sell old stuff. It's a really fascinating deep dive into the world of cannibalism and what a world would look like with all this stuff going on. But the main story is kind of pushed to the wayside. Marcos, his wife, sort of left him because they lost their son. He's also got a father with dementia. Those are all small subplots. He's got a sister who he doesn't like, and all these small subplots. The main story, though, is kind of not that developed. It's more about all the different aspects of societal things going on. There's a disturbing sequence where he has to go to a game reserve, and there's this rich guy that's I enjoy hunting people and killing them and eating them, and they taste different and stuff, and they get a kick out of there's people with debts, and they essentially bait them and say, if you can survive on the game range for a week, your debts will be paid off, but if not, we'll kill you and eat you. And so they've really taken it to 11 with the whole concept of the legalized cannibalism. But it doesn't do much in terms of story. There's the main story, and it has a somewhat of a weird ending too, very poetic. But it's short. It's not too long, so it doesn't wear out its welcome. But I found myself having a hard time getting through it because I like to listen to audiobooks, and I don't want to be prepping food while listening to to all this like butchery. It was really disturbing in that sense, but not that scary. Overall, it's an interesting read. I probably wouldn't read it again. I don't know if I'd recommend it because it's not that scary of a horror book, but it definitely feels like it's more of a fable about the power of veganism, I guess. So yeah, I give Tender is the Flesh a 3 out of 5.